Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Sneak Attack. I'm Reed, your host and DM for this original D&D adventure. To my left we have...
Akio.
Brenna.
Sherwood. Greg.
Oh.
I am
From now on,
already sad.
every one of my intros is going to be weird.
Wait. Now they're going to be weird because before they've been so normal and just straightforward.
So last time on Sneak Attack... Last time on Sneak Attack, Greg and Sherwood got themselves into quite the ruckus. They're high-fiving. That totally missed.
This is bad.
Dealing with some of Arlen Brampton's otherworldly guards. These kind of like weird celestial otherworldly creatures that had weird tree trunks growing out of their backs.
Tusks and stuff.
Yeah, lots of weirdo creatures that were working for Arlen, but they managed to escape through some pretty fantastic dice rolling.
That was awesome. It's a good plan.
And some nice Fire Gland C4 placement.
Yeah.
That proved to be just enough to get them out the door. All the while, Brenna and Akio were standing watch off on the hill outside of town and were approached by a familiar face. Blind gnome bar owner Saturn approached you guys and said, "Hey, let me take you to my place."
To the resistance.
I don't think he said it that way.
No, he said it in a much more older, more senile way. But that is where we left off. So we're going to start with Brenna and Akio.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are getting you're getting hauled away. Sherwood's angry.
He's just threw his
Sherwood
bottle.
wants to call it in. He wants to phone this episode in.
I'll
I'm
be
going
in my
home.
bunk. He's
Saturn-
going to his dressing room. He's going back to his dressing room, guys.
Saturn was hauling you guys away towards wherever he came from. You don't really know, but Brenna's still in.
How does he know?
How does he know?
He's blind.
Maybe he has
He's
a
like-
crazy sense of smell.
He's blind in one eye and pretty visually impaired in the other.
He sees shapes.
But he's like an ant. He counts his steps.
I learned that yesterday from you.
From me. And I learned that from the internet.
Yeah, Google it.
It's true.
Thank you, Brennan.
So, Akio, Brendan, do you want to say anything, ask him any questions along the way? You seemed hesitant to even go with him in the first place.
Where are you taking us?
He's like just tugging on the bag of holding like a
Yeah,
child.
are you still in that
Yeah,
bag?
I'm still in the bag.
I just picture you like with your head sticking out of the bag.
In my hands a little bit.
Yeah.
Think of a
And
puppy.
So he's like holding on to you guys like a child hangs on to the bottom of his mother's skirt or something like that. Very like
Yes.
60s style grocery store scene.
Yes.
And he's just dragging you guys along and says, "Well, I'm taking you to meet the others."
Who's in charge of this? Others.
Oh, the elf, the half elf.
Brightspire?
No, I quit years ago.
What race was Thalen's brother?
The same as Thalen.
Uh,
Because they were siblings.
They were twins. Yeah.
Yeah.
what was his name?
Taken.
Is it Tegan?
Oh yeah, his ears kind of perk up at that. He goes, "Oh yeah. The weirdo, the emotional guy."
Yes. I get out
Is
of the
he the
bag.
leader?
I get out of the bag.
Is he the leader?
I get out of the bag. I get out of the bag.
You hop out of the bag.
Yeah. Take me there.
Well, I am. I'm leading you there right now. So yeah, you climb out and Q, you start like tumbling all over yourself because your weight distribution gets thrown all off, and you fall to the ground as Brenna like sprawls out and she gets up all excitedly and is very eager to follow after Saturn now. So he kind of takes you through some of the more dense part of the forest and is leading you through this really really dense wooded area, and you could definitely tell that a lot of these trees are smaller but newer. So like in that climate shift that I was talking about, where like the desert started to become a little more inhabitable and more lush with vegetation, a lot of these trees are newer and seem to be thriving a little bit more since the climate has changed. So he's taking you through, and there's these weird like rock formations and everything like that. And as you're actually going deeper into this foresty wooded area, you actually are starting to notice different types of trees instead of the more like coniferous ones you're used to. You start actually seeing stuff that doesn't even look indigenous to the region at all. And you're seeing actual, like, pineapple trees. Like, these look very...
Like they were brought here.
Yes, exactly like that. And they do look, like, larger than most of the other trees, almost like they've been here longer. And they don't seem to be, like, well-maintained or kept up or anything like that. But
Okay, so it's not like a plantation.
yeah, they're kind of like... They just at a glance, they seem to be what most of the landscape was, but now there's, like, these other smaller, newer trees all dotted inside this grove.
Okay.
And so he kind of takes you all through this, and there's this one giant, like, banana-shaped rock. And so it's almost like the banana sitting on its end with the 2 points in the air. And he kind of, like, ducks underneath one of the ends and walks up to this stump that's kind of next to it. And this whole time, you guys are just getting, like, a weird vibe about this. Like, it looks so out of place, and this rock is so... like specific. It just doesn't look like it was put there naturally. Mm-hmm. And when he walks up to the stump, he like pushes it over, and you can tell that the stump is actually on a hinge.
Ooh, this is nice.
And
Secret base.
Yeah, yes.
And under this hollowed out stump is this lever, and he pulls on the lever, and all these like stones that were kind of built into the ground and into the landscape of this area, they start like collapsing and sinking into the ground, and this like faux organic staircase starts forming deep under this like stone banana.
The banana stone.
He kind of just like gestures for the two of you to walk forward.
Okay.
And he said, you got to get down there because I got to pull the lever again and then run to get back underneath it so it doesn't, squish me.
Okay.
So he kind of puts you guys in position and then pulls the lever and hurries his fast little body and gets down the steps as the ground starts shifting and reforming and forming solid ground again.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so now you guys are underground, and you can hear like the stones and everything kind of shifting and settling above you. And then he gets down there and pulls on this like chain lever, and all of a sudden these torches start lighting this really long organic but a subterranean hallway.
I really like this place.
And he goes, we got a little bit of ways to walk. This I apologize, got to keep this place under wraps,
Oh, good. It's good strategy.
So maybe you can fill me in on some details, because I'm a little confused as to why you guys look exactly the same, especially you there, wizard boy. That was really racist sounding. Wizard boy. Wizard boy. No. Why do you look exactly the same? And where the heck have you been for the last 30 some odd years?
What?
Well, first of all, I'm Asian. So
Asian don't crack.
I just he just dropped this reality bomb, and Brenna's face goes wide-eyed, and then Akio's like, well, first of all,
How do you know?
I am Asian.
We age really well.
we're timeless.
Anyway. What?
What?
30?
Oh man, did I say something wrong again? Yeah, 6, 10 minus the 2. Yeah, 30 years.
I look
The
at
meteor.
Akio.
The meteor. That was 80th year of the fifth age.
I look at Akio. The color has drained from my face.
We're in the future.
And that line was out of his butt.
And then this dude with wiry white hair comes up and goes, "Oh, we need to go back to
To the future.
the future."
Marty,
Oh.
it's your kids, Marty. It's your kids.
So, you feel like filling him in on where you guys have been for the last 30 years? Because
Well, we went after we left your tavern that morning. We went to the desert and found a weird door.
a desert door?
Yeah. You heard of them before?
Can't say as I have.
Okay. Some
Wait, you went to the desert?
the Wildlands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're alive?
Yeah.
Well, we're here, aren't we?
Oh god. Yes, we're here. We're here.
So the three of you were walking like parallel, like in a straight line across, with Saturn in the middle. He positions himself so he's on the outside of
doesn't wanna be by
Akio. So
Akio.
now it goes Akio, Brenna, Saturn. He doesn't know what your deal is, man.
So we met up with some emissaries of Sylvana.
Sylvana. Mm-hmm. You met Sylvana?
Well, that's another story, but not on this trip.
So, okay.
We were in a thing called the Chronicum.
Nope. Just, I'm sorry I asked.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, we didn't realize that we were 30 years in the future. So,
You're in the future?
yep.
Oh, boy.
Wait, we're in the future?
There's other timelines?
Yep.
Okay.
This is a dark one.
So, okay, you go to the desert, you're gone for 30 years, you look exactly the same. Mm-hmm. And all the while, the world's kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
Really wish you guys could have been here for that.
Yeah.
That's really somber for Saturn.
Well, Saturn has moments of poignancy.
That's true.
Like,
And this is one of them.
yeah.
He also had a really poignant moment at the bar trying to solve our problems. Anyway.
So, he doesn't really know what to think. And because he knows he has a hard time grasping reality and like really having a firm understanding of what's going on all the time. Mm-hmm. So, these past several years have been really difficult on him in terms of like everything that he kind of established and been in a pattern of doing for the last 50 to 100 years has kind of been completely uprooted. Mm-hmm. So all of what you're saying is like total nonsense to him. It's not like he gets that something's wrong and he knows he can't quite understand why it's wrong, but he's just going to take your word that it's like that it's just something weird what's going on.
Okay.
And so he says, "Oh, just a little bit further, and then we'll be there." And at that point, we're going to jump back over to
The getaway.
Graywick and Sherwood.
We're running, man.
Yeah. So
Hightailing it back to where our friends were.
this is you're a little bit of a dicey situation though, because if you remember where this like crude structure of Valisar was built was actually like behind where High Keep was, almost on the pass going up the mountain.
I see.
So if you want to go back, you've got to run through 3 layers of enemy city levels just to get out of the town again.
Okay, now we got to go up the mountain.
But then what are we going to do up the mountain?
There's got to be another path down it.
Now, if you remember, this pass was specifically created as almost like a tourist attraction.
Okay.
So once a year at the end of harvest season, like people would come and pay tribute, quote unquote, to the founders. This was called like the Founders Pass or Harris Pass because it was named after one of the founders. And at the top of this path that leads up the mountain is the statue of Waldo and his wife.
Well, Reed, does it seem like there'd be a good place for us to kind of duck in and hide in the shadows in the city? Is it big enough that... Or is it so full of people that like we're pretty much going to be just running the whole way?
The most populated part of the city was definitely like the gate entrances around the walls, because that's where they were like rounding people up and taking them in to be cataloged and like put in specific housing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the deeper you got into the city, the less populated it was with regular civilians. And just the more that the people, anyone who was out from like the second level on up was pretty much just like guards.
And we're on like the farthest up level, right?
Correct. High Keep was on the 3rd level, and you're actually like on the pass behind.
So if we want to run through the city, we got to go through a layer of a level of all guards, and then a level of a bunch of prisoners and sorting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Up the mountain we go.
Up the mountain we go. Yeah. We're going up the mountain.
Solid decision, I think.
Okay.
We'll go up the mountain, and then we'll find another way down.
Perfect.
Your path up the mountain is a little. It's more perilous than you remember it being. It seems like
less taken care of.
Yeah, because whereas, like I said before, this was definitely a tourist spot. This is pretty much all but been forgotten. Mm-hmm. People haven't been up here, and what you think would be couple years.
Yeah.
You're having to like climb over really overgrown stuff. The path is no longer very well maintained or anything like that. And when you get to the top, you're actually surprised to see the statue of Waldo and Willow Dupree still be in relatively good condition. Almost like anything beyond High Keep was almost like an afterthought for the invaders. Mm-hmm. And so you get to the top and you see the statue definitely weather worn, definitely got like a lot of weeds and stuff growing on or around it, but looks more or less intact. And you almost get like this sense of like a calming presence just being around him, like oh, simpler times type of thing. Where man, like look at how this is not what you had in store when you founded this area, and you know all this work you put in
For all the destruction and rot
thousands of years
us.
ago. Yeah, like this is what it.
Still
This is what it. Yeah, exactly. Like you built something great, but unfortunately, like your legacy is getting tarnished throughout all this.
Yeah.
And at the base of the statue is this inscription that is, again, remarkably well preserved considering. And it says, lasting legacies are forged when you blaze your own path. Because if you remember, these guys...
They founded the city, right?
Yeah, and it's because they weren't satisfied within the constraints of Durhaven. They wanted to establish something for themselves. So you almost get the sense that, like, that's almost like determination fills you. You're just like, man, if they could... 1,000 years ago, somehow build this great legacy. Like, you get the sense like it'll be okay. I feel like this isn't going to be where we die.
Yeah. All right, Sherwood. It's time for us to blaze a trail.
I eye roll at that statement.
Yeah.
Greg walks over to the statue and kind of puts his hand on the inscription, just kind of as like a moment.
My
of just
eyes roll to the back of my
acknowledging.
head.
He's having a
Never
moment
come
here.
back.
I roll down the hill.
Is there any like sound we hear from the city, like a horn blowing or some kind of like call to action?
Nope. You don't get the impression that they immediately know where you went.
Gotcha. They're still trying to figure things out, but they're not like putting the whole city on alert or something.
Yeah.
They're not that concerned about the two of us.
Arlen is pretty concerned about the two of you.
He's probably angry.
But at the same point, you don't know this, and I don't know that you would ever know this otherwise. But he seems like would think it foolish for you guys to go up there because he knows it's a bottleneck. It's not gonna.
Gotcha.
There's no exit.
Yeah.
So
he
to
figures
him-
they'll catch him in the city or
Exactly.
they'll get stuck in the mountain.
Exactly. So he's putting most of his men on like city level patrol.
Yeah.
In order to hope to find you there.
Okay.
Not to say that he hasn't sent guys your direction, but maybe just not as many.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to go till the trail ends, and then we're going to try and find a way down the mountain other than the path.
On the backside.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We're going to make a trail.
all right. So Greg, and both of you actually, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Greg, I'm going to give you advantage on this
Because it's a mountain.
because it's a mountain.
Yes.
But it's nature.
15.
20.
Okay. Sherwood, as you guys are kind of quickly surveying, you see what appear to be like gaps and rocks positioned in such a way to where you feel like you can jump with relative ease from like rock to rock. They're flat enough and not sloped enough to where you feel like jumping to them wouldn't immediately cause you to slip and lose your footing. And so you think that if you just like kind of leave where the statues are, remember the statues almost like that's the end of this maintained path. So if you were to leave this, you would be literally going off into the wilderness or more dangerous part of the mountain. But you think that you see a well enough way to make your way.
I start stretching my legs. I'm like,
Limbering up.
all right, Greg.
tightens his bootlaces.
Time for the expert trail.
This is
And I
my
jump.
what my boots are made for.
Just for springing, that's right. So what I need you guys to do is just to roll me acrobatics. It's never the one you want.
It's never athletics. I don't know what you do athletics
This is
for.
definitely the one I want.
Sports.
Athletics would be
Wouldn't
for,
skiing be sports?
athletics would be for like climbing or swimming.
Okay.
So it is acrobatics?
Yeah, I'm gonna because what I'm most concerned about is you guys landing properly.
Oh, I'm going to stick this land.
So you jump from where you're at to the first rock.
And striding, my boots, they don't really make it easier for me, do they?
They let you go further,
Okay.
which I would say, because you're not using their full distance, you're able to maybe hone in a little bit more. I'll give you guys both advantage on it because I don't care.
I rolled the exact same number. 11.
13.
Okay, I did set this first one out of 10. So you guys jump to the first rock, and Greg, it's almost like you're not fully familiar yet on how these boots work.
Yeah.
And so you kind of land and slide right to the edge and are kind of like teetering for a little bit. And Sherwood reaches out and like grabs you by the waist, like the waistband, and like pulls you back.
Okay.
And
If we were inside the mountain, I'd know exactly what I'm doing. But this,
Yeah.
and where the mother is or something.
that's a different thing.
Oh, is that different?
That's location. Underground, as a dwarf, I know how to find directions
Yeah.
innately.
And so Sherwood, again, you see kind of what you think is like the next achievable platform that you can jump on. And go ahead and roll me another 20. This one I'm going to require a 12.
Advantage still?
Not on this one.
Okay.
And I say it's all in the hips.
I'll take your word for it.
11.
21.
Okay. So
Wasn't in the hips. Too much
This
hips.
time I grab him.
if roll me a reflex or dexterity saving throw. Now, just a dexterity check. Got to beat at 11.
13.
Okay. And so yeah, he's starting to like slide forward because his feet went out from under him when he landed,
see.
and you grab him by the hood of the manta ray cloak, and you just
Hips. Right.
There's too much hips. It's too much hips.
and
But hips don't lie.
Oh, that's true.
that's why he fell though.
I can't lie about it.
Shakira.
You lied to me.
Your hips lie.
Look down, stupid hips.
Your hips have deceived you.
You said you would always tell me the truth. You were the chosen.
And now, Sherwood, you kind of point out to Greg the most precarious rock. This one's about 10 feet away, and so you're going to have to get a little bit of a running start. But it is downhill, so gravity takes some of the
What are the
some of the
chances,
assistance.
Sherwood,
Yes.
would you perhaps be able to do your entangling thing on that rock and we could jump into the tangle?
Like a ball pit?
I don't know what the ball pit is,
It's like a
but I know that
pit
you're
with balls
you're
in it.
Those vines can hold a man in place very steadily. Because it just happened to me like a little while ago.
Yeah, like 2 minutes ago.
I don't want to get entangled in those.
But they'll at least keep us from falling, and you can then make them go away once we're more sure of our footing.
Nah.
It's
All
a
right.
valiant effort. This one I'm setting at 15. So you gotta jump to the next one.
Who's going first?
I'll go first. 15 exactly.
All right. Greg jumps and lands with a solid thud, and you can see some like small pebble rocks and dust kind of like kick out when his feet land. He looks pretty cool when he lands.
Does he look super cool?
Nah,
I'm getting jealous.
Not super cool.
Now I need to like up him.
He looks kind of cool. You think like you could do better, but it would take a lot.
I'm gonna do better.
Okay.
My hands go out. I turn around.
No.
I'm gonna do a backflip off of this.
Okay.
Gosh,
Just because.
why not?
All right. Roll it.
16.
All right, so with everything you've got, your tiny little body, you spring off the last rock and land on top of Greg,
Nailed it.
and Greg goes tumbling to the ground and sliding off the back end of the rock. And Greg, roll me a dexterity.
Don't I have some kind of like resistance to being pushed?
Gnome resistance.
No, this is 4th edition.
Okay, what am I rolling?
Dexterity.
Of course. Not my greatest thing. 5, Reed.
Okay, so you start sliding off of this
Sherwood!
off of this rock, but as you're like trying to actually grab onto the rock itself for leverage, the whole rock that Sherwood is sitting on and you're grabbing onto starts shifting and sliding with it, and as
Surfboard!
it doesn't move that far.
Okay.
It
Right at the hole.
it hits a few smaller but still maybe more embedded rocks and stones in the side of the mountain and stops sliding. But after like it's moved and you're able to pull yourself up properly, you see that underneath this rock is actually like a hole or a crevice leading into the mountain. And roll me a perception check.
14.
16.
Okay, Sherwood, You can hear what sounds like running water, like coming from the hole,
Okay.
but you can't see into it. It's very, very dark.
Cannonball! And I jump in.
He doesn't even tell me. He just says cannonball and jumps in.
Yes.
Apparently.
I flip over my hood, though.
Okay.
And then I cannonball in.
Greg's like, but what? Where did you? He just jumped in the hole. He looks around. Are there any other rocks to climb on?
No, like...
We're kind of in the middle of nowhere now.
Where you were heading was towards, like...
Like it was feasible.
Yeah,
but because the stone slid.
Well, the slope of the mountain, like the side of the cliff you're on, is steep but not impossible. Where you were moving towards, where the rock was sliding, is impossible. Like it is very, 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 very steep, very, very sheer cliff face.
Greg's like shaking his head, like gnome, and then he blade wards and jumps in.
Did he hear a splash?
How long were you waiting out there?
Just like probably 10 seconds.
Oh, you would have heard a splash after 10 seconds. Yeah.
Still blade wards.
Yeah. Okay.
The water's fine, maybe.
The rocks broke my fall.
Maybe.
All right, so you jump in.
Or maybe like 5 seconds. Like it's like he jumps in and he goes this whole like kind of panicked process of like what's going on. And then he jumps in.
You jump in after Sherwood, and we're gonna jump back to Akio and Brenna.
So we're walking.
Yeah. So as this cave hallway keeps like meandering and moving through the earth and taking its bends and twists and turns, eventually you come to what looks like a dead end. It's just like moss and stone and stuff covering the end of this tunnel. And he walks up, and where there's like this, like the kind of the smoother rock buried in deep into the cave wall, he just like leans on it and puts all of his weight on it, and the rock like depresses in to the wall, and the cave, like the mossy cave dead end, kind of just like sinks into the floor. Mm-hmm. And at this,
you want this for your lair, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Keep going.
And you walk in to this very large circular room. At this point, you get the impression that you're probably 30 to 50 feet underground.
Wow.
As the cave kept going, you kept descending deeper and deeper under the ground, but it wasn't like a super steep slope. It happened gradually. Mm-hmm. And so you're in this large, round, almost like dome-shaped room, and there's candles lit everywhere, and milling around inside are about a dozen individuals, most of which you just do not recognize. But as soon as Saturn comes in with more people than he left with, everyone just kind of stops what they're doing and immediately are very concerned that there's more people with him.
Mm-hmm. Does he introduce us?
He just like he stops guiding you at this point, and he just kind of like goes and talks to the people that he would need to report to.
I yell after him, but where are we supposed to go?
And he just he ignores you, and
so everyone's just like staring at us awkwardly.
Kind of.
I outstretch my hands, and I say, "It's okay. We're from not the future.
We're from the future.
From the past."
It's okay. You're all from the future.
You're all from the future.
Ooh, that sounds like something Greg would
Don't
say.
be alarmed.
The heroes of High Rock are here.
Word hasn't spread yet, unfortunately. It doesn't mean anything.
We don't have any street cred.
Yeah. Through all of the pin-dropping awkwardness that is people seeing outside civilians for maybe the first time in who knows how long, you see through one of the side doors a man that you do recognize emerge.
Taken.
Yeah. And he immediately comes up and starts... He comes up and he like wants to hug you, Brenna.
Ooh.
I'll let him hug me.
Okay.
It's a hug. Calm yourself.
You're both half-elves. You never know.
I like the
never
mixing
know.
of races.
And it was you two that
That's
talked him
true.
off the ledge, right?
Yeah, we're his saviors. Mostly Akio, but we're his saviors.
And
Dude, we're going to talk about characters having impact on the world.
that's true.
We
High
saved
five.
him, now he's like
Real
in
high five.
charge.
So
That's how you do a high five.
he walks up and he says, I don't even know where to begin. What? Where have you been?
How'd you get out of jail?
That's a good question, but maybe yours first.
Well, we went to the Wildlands after we dropped you off and talked with your sister about some issues, and I guess we got stuck there for 35 years without aging.
This, like, as outrageous as the last several years have been for the world, that just seems really out there. Mm-hmm. He says, I knew something had to have happened. Mm-hmm. We assumed that you just fell to the same fate that many who have tried to breach the Wildlands have fell to. Mm-hmm. But he looks at you, Akio, and just kind of grabs you by the shoulders and gives you like that firm, just like like a Viking style, like just greeting.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it is great to see a familiar face. Come, and he kind of leads you through this area and into his quarters that he was kind of working from.
Cool.
And so he sits you down. It's this very unadorned area of this underground cave. It's got tree stumps for seats, but they're not like actually rooted anywhere. You can kind of like pick them up and move them around. So he takes one that was sitting next to his desk and like slides it out in front of his desk to meet the other one, and he offers you just gestures at you guys to sit down. He says, "There is a lot to discuss."
Yes.
How much do you know?
Nothing.
Cool.
Also, we're missing the other two of our party.
I see that.
It's
They're alive?
Yes.
You're sure of this?
98%.
98. Hey, those are the best odds I've seen in a while.
I'm glad to provide them with you. Pulled them out my butt.
Oh, well, that makes me less...
It's great.
Less confident.
I mean, the dwarf. He's stubborn. He'll be okay.
Yeah.
And Sherwood's crafty, so...
That is true. What big things to know. Big things to know. Do you remember Arlen Brampton?
Yeah, the
Yes.
nautical exchange guy.
Don't trust that guy.
Okay.
Never did.
Yeah.
You don't trust anybody. She actually says that to him.
I look at Brenna and I say, for good reason.
So, it turns out that Arlen was double dealing, so to speak. He was a rogue agent. He operated with a secret intelligence society tasked with the return of Valasar. They call themselves the Knights of Vassal.
Ooh, that's new.
Yeah. Who knows? Dozens of years, decades. Arlen and his men, his group, went around and tried to retrieve as many of these strange crystals, and he like slides his desk drawer open, he pulls one of them out. It's very small. I mean, like, not nearly enough for what he would need, but it's just, it's something. Mm-hmm. He says they seek out these crystals. They provide a specific power that they need to channel. It's like they're channeling the plane that they think Valasar is banished to.
Yeah, we killed a guy with a bunch of those. Remember?
Yeah, he was opening up a portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. As he's saying this, you get the connection that, like, this, what was that dude's name? Melvin, thank you. I was going to call him Marvin, but I knew that wasn't right. Melvin, if you remember, had that placard of Valasar hanging above his sacrificial area. And when you killed him, Brenna, he said that he'd failed him.
Yeah.
He'd failed Valasar. So what you guys had seen all the way back in episode 8 was one of these Knights of Vassal trying to experiment with these crystals and actually trying to open these portals. You don't have to roll for this. I just think it's funny because I really have no way of explaining this area other than just to tell you outright.
Okay.
Sitting above on the wall, like, is this tapestry. It's fabric, Brenna, but there's nothing behind it.
Thank you. I appreciate the clue.
But it's of a group of people that look familiar to you guys. Specifically, it's of James.
The Pineapple
The
Gang?
Pineapple Gang guy. And you can see him with all the Pineapple Gang members around him.
Tegan.
Like a group photo?
Yeah, kind of. But it's like
Tegan.
it's like a painting, obviously.
Yeah.
Tegan, Archibald, Brightspire. Why
Yeah.
do you have a tapestry of the Pineapple Gang? We have been over this.
He just kind of laughs. He goes, "Oh, that?" He kind of points behind him. He goes, "Okay, I have to be honest with you."
Oh, this is their headquarters. That's why there were pineapple trees.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't get away from this.
No, he says, "Okay, I know that I have a pretty spotty history with them, but after Greg brutally murdered James, that pretty much was the end of the Pineapple Gang."
Oh, good job, Greg.
Yeah, so well done on actually eliminating that threat. But when we got run out of town, we discovered this area after a few weeks of living in the woods, and I thought it fitting that, and he points to the painting, the tapestry again. He goes, "I just thought it was funny that this place that, was a thorn in my side and, one of my weaker life decisions should end up being almost a point of reference as what I consider to be my greatest and most purposeful mission in life." So
It's like your reminder of who you are and
yeah, it's a reminder of where I've come, but also just a nice little nod because I think it's funny that we should have their area.
why is it a banana stone?
Oh, that I don't know.
Oh, okay.
The Banana Bunch.
I just think it was there just so it was a good focal point so people could find it easier and they
Gotcha.
wouldn't walk past it. But I don't know.
Let's bear in mind, they were the Pineapple Gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like the fruits.
They need an obvious clue.
Yeah, very
But
true.
yes, this is Tekken talking. We now occupy the now defunct Pineapple Gang headquarters. So
That's the best explanation you could give me for that tapestry. More updates on what's been happening in the world
sure.
and what this whole organization is.
This is really just the cobbled remains of people who are wanting to stand up against Arlen and
Gotcha.
the agents of Valisar.
Okay. So we're in the right place.
I believe so.
Yeah.
You said it was with Saturn that found you?
Shocking, I know, but
Yeah.
yes.
To be perfectly honest, we send him out just to keep him busy and because he bothers us when he's here.
Well, to be completely honest, we noticed him first, and Akio may have shot him with an arrow because we didn't know it was him. So,
Oh, well, that makes way more sense. You found him rather than him finding you.
and he had no idea who we were. So,
That also makes sense.
yeah.
I can't say that the invasion happened 2 years ago. Caught us completely by surprise. We don't all know how many islands are affected. Arlen ceased all transportation on the Brandis Nautical Exchange and is commissioned to just be for his purposes now. But
Of course.
yeah, that's actually, we assume he was using it as a means to gather resources and intel this whole time.
From the very beginning.
We think that he has had this plan in place for, it's got to be at least 50 years.
Jeez. It's just hard to believe. I mean, the Brandis Nautical Exchange was the beginning of my father's travels, but it's all for naught.
I think it was something that was so needed in the world that we just accepted it for what it was and didn't see past the more nefarious purpose.
That's legit.
Yeah.
Where's that voice coming from?
There's someone sitting next to Tegan. You just haven't seen him
That's
yet.
legit.
Who's
That's
that?
legit.
That's legit.
It's Tegan's hype man.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point, dog.
Yeah.
It's legit.
Yeah.
Cheer.
So, the invasion happened 2 years ago. Really came out of the blue. Portals just started appearing all over Norwich.
Jeez.
It was a very well planned and well executed assault. So they must have been able to perfect opening the portals at specific places in space and coordinating with the beings on the other side. Mm-hmm. Have you seen any of the creatures? Oh, please tell me you haven't run into any of the creatures.
The nasty purple stumpy.
You didn't see the Stumpy guys.
No, just the purple.
Yeah.
Purple fang guys. We saw the purple fang guys.
Oh.
They got Greg.
Oh.
I made him feign death. It's fine. They think he's dead.
and to be fair, those are, I would consider those the least of your guys' troubles. If you guys just ran into them, then you actually had a little bit of good fortune on your side.
Well, that seems backwards, but
Yikes.
Yeah.
remember you wanted to fight those.
Yeah, I could have taken him.
Yeah.
Realistically, I mean, in terms of the new hierarchy for how this whole army, otherworldly army is played out, those guys would be like the peons, the foot soldiers of this new group.
The pawns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which would be why they're on patrol.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, he goes, just be grateful you didn't see the fallen.
What are those?
I've lost. And he just kind of like starts, he looks up like he's trying to do the math, but he realizes it's not a number he even wants to consider. He goes, I've lost so many of my men to the fallen.
Wait. Dark, cloaky, soul-sucking beings?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Haven't seen any of those. Are there other things we should be worried about? Oh, man.
I don't know. It was in the thing that we were in for 35 years, so maybe you won't have to deal with them.
Oh, heaven help us. He says, the fallen are more fierce and brutal than anything I've ever seen before. They are planar and solar angels
Ooh.
who have foregone their celestial birthright.
Ooh.
Dark
And
Deva.
they are, yeah, I mean, yes.
You're
I'm sorry.
not-
I know. I'm sorry. I can't resist.
I know. if you can easily identify them because they've ripped the wings out of their backs
Ooh. Ow, my back hurts.
as a sign of surrendering their heritage and pledging allegiance to Valisar. Those are the guys you saw in the room, by the way. Those were like the tree trunk stumps growing. Like,
Oh.
yeah, like those holes in their armor where
You're
they're
surrounded by like, oh my gosh.
yeah
They're so powerful.
High
Yeah.
five. Way to
They're-
go, pal.
they're super.
Sorry,
Shut
I
down.
cannot disconnect the meta side of my brain of the DM knowing the
I know.
stats for those guys.
I know, like they're just
Oh my gosh.
totally nerding out. Those are considered legendary creatures. Like
Yeah, we wouldn't have stand a chance if we actually fought them.
So-
Oh.
Anywho, yeah. So those are the guys that Arlen actually has doing the majority of his heavy lifting. So if you see any creatures that stand 8 to 10 feet tall, slender angelic faces and figures, but look like they could rip a man in half just with their minds, you should probably turn around and run.
Okay. Good to know.
But at that point, it's probably too late.
Also good to know.
We made the right choice.
Made a great choice in there.
Yeah. Planar and Solar, or Planetar and Solar, are super cool, but like you guys are way underpowered to be fighting them right now. That's the real abridged version of everything that's been happening.
Okay. Well, Akio, you had a question for him?
If it's you want the noodle, I will punch you, Akio.
Akio sits back down.
No, you actually you
I got
actually
one.
asked him a
After these
question.
35 years, I got one question for you. You want to know?
How'd you get out of jail? And what happened to your sister?
Yeah. At that point, someone knocks on the door, and someone you don't recognize.
We're busy in here.
He
We haven't had enough exposition yet.
he lifts his hand and says, "That is not a story I am prepared to tell right now, but suffice it to say that she's no longer with us, but
I'm gonna kill that Arlen Brampton so hard.
she sacrificed herself for me."
Oh,
Did you give her a burial?
There was not much left to, and he just kind of like gets choked up a little bit, and he says, "Unfortunately, I have other matters to attend to. I will continue this conversation with you later, just at a time where perhaps I'm more able to speak with my heart rather than my emotions. So, if you will forgive me, I'm sure that." And he kind of gestures, and you see two people dressed similarly, but slightly like stripped down, almost like leather armor, almost like these might be like more scouts. They come up and kind of like gesture you out and be like, I have a meeting I must attend, but we will reconvene and figure out how we can save your friends
Thank you.
if they are still alive.
Can we stay here in the time being?
Of course.
Okay.
This is a place for anyone who wishes to fight back against Arlen's tyranny.
Okay.
So,
They will land in water.
that is where we're going then.
We landed in something.
You did land in something. You heard running water, so I mean, like,
I'm diving in. I love
He
water.
did, I didn't. That's why I played water.
yeah. You mean, unfortunately, the river you were landing in was just to the right of the hole. So, right into the
Board
rock.
for some fun.
Yeah.
This is a lazy river.
It is. There's some
Get a tube,
tubes
put it
down
in.
there.
I'm enjoying it.
There's some tubes on there. Jimmy Buffett's playing on the speakers.
Yeah, it's an amusement park on the backside.
So that is going to do it for this episode. Thanks everyone for listening. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode, and if so, definitely hit us up on Twitter. We got a Twitter account @Sneak Podcast. Let us know what you thought. Let us know your thoughts and feelings of the show. Any fan art, any questions you have, anything really, just hit us up. I love talking with you guys. You can also email us, sneakattackpodcast@gmail.com. That is our email. You can write us any more long-form questions you have, something that maybe exceeds 140 characters. Or you can write us a review on iTunes. We super appreciate that. That helps us in our iTunes placement and just really makes us feel good. So you can do all those things. Super appreciate you listening. We got a couple shout-outs. First one is Tom Davis. That's @Dad of Elliesaurus. So I assume you're a father of a girl named Ellie, who's also a dinosaur. So that's cool. Thanks for writing us, Tom. Also, Michael T. Swanson. This dude's been hitting us up on Twitter for a while now. Super appreciate you writing in, man. Asking lots of questions and leaving comments on the show. Super appreciate it. That's @Polandros or Polandros. I don't know. But Michael T. Swanson, thanks, man. Super appreciate that. Also, another huge shout out to our friends over at Battle Bard. They're the people who provide us with the sound effects and music for this show. Really do appreciate their partnership with us. They provide music and sound effects for people who are playing D&D and want that extra ambiance, want that extra little element to add to their game. So if you like what you hear, you can go on over to battlebards.com, see their catalog, see their library of stuff. And give them your support. They're really cool people, and we really appreciate having them on the show. You can find out more about them in the description of for the show notes of this episode. But other than that, that will do it for this episode of Sneak Attack. I really appreciate you listening. Go around to the table. We got
Akio.
Brenna.
Sherwood.
And Greg.
Thanks, everyone.